Now there's another way he can hold his cannon, and this is more like of a sound wave type design. On the What's going on? It's your boy Privacy Creator here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Transformers Bumblebee movie concept art studio series number 109, Decepticon leader Megatron. Now, I did get this figure back at TFCon thanks to Jake Prime pressuring me as always to get a figure and stuff. So Jake, love you, thank you. Me and the gang were shocked when we saw 109 Megatron right there in front of our faces. We held him, we wanted him, but he was for a lot of money. For TFCon price, he was worth $90, not retail price, which is like maybe $55. This was $90 at TFCon. So is he worth the $90? Is this Megatron the best leader Megatron that we have ever gotten for studio series? Is this figure underrated or overrated? Without further ado, let's review this studio series number 109 concept art leader class Megatron. Taking a closer look at this figure, you can see that the head detail actually looks really good. Do got the nice red for the eyes. Do got some nice detail work on the face. Do have, of course, it resembles the head, at least resembles the G1 bucket head that he does have for G1. So I like how they incorporated that as well. You can see the nice, beautiful paint that they put. It's like a nice chrome silver, and I love that a lot. In the middle, do got that nice Decepticon emblem. I like how they even incorporated a little bit of red on the biceps and just little parts like these. It makes the figure pop a lot more, which I do quite like. Now the back, of course, the back isn't going to be the best. You got some nice tank threads, because if you guys don't know, he does transform into a tank, and he does transform into a jet. There's not much to say except that the paintwork on this guy is one of the best that I think Studio Series has done so far. Now this figure did come with one accessory, and you can't have a Megatron without his beautiful looking cannon. Look at this thing. This thing is above average size. I do like the color gray that they went with this. I love the little red dot there. I do wish that they have a little bit of the silver that this Megatron does have there. I love the integrated details and everything, and sadly this doesn't light up, but it is what it is. It still looks good nonetheless. Not to put it on him, it is very simple. On his forearm, he does have a hole right there. On the cannon, there's going to be a little peg right there, and all you're simply going to do is plug it in, and there you go. Now you have Megatron holding his really big and cool looking arm cannon. Imagine if this was in the Bumblebee movie. He looks so like a mixture of like Michael Bay but like G1. It looks so good. This arm cannon completes him. Now there's another way he can hold his cannon, and this is more like of a sound wave type design. On the back, you're gonna have holes right there. Again, you're just gonna plug it in like so, and this is on a hinge, so what you can do is you can lift this up like this, and bam, now you can have him holding it like a shoulder cannon. And that is another way. It does look really cool, but not like my 100% best option. I think more the arm cannon is better, but I'm glad that this is still an option because it looks really cool. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of growing on me. Just imagine where he's like, oh, boom, you know, like a boo, you know, boo, you know, poo. For my first size comparison, here we do have the concept art leader class Megatron compared to the studio series number 38 Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. That way you can see how they both do look there. And man, imagine if this was on screen. Like, just imagine, instead of Soundwave jumping down saying Decepticons attack, it was actually this Megatron. I'm sad that it took this long, but again, it's a concept art, so technically this Megatron wasn't in the movie at all. But it looks really cool, and they're both really fun to pose with, and I just love seeing these two together. For my next size comparison, here we do have the concept art Megatron next to the Bumblebee movie Soundwave. That way you can see how they both do look there and how they would look if they were on the screen together, and I dig it. This really makes me wish that both Megatron and Soundwave were on screen, at least even if it was like for 5 or 4 seconds, because they would have looked freaking awesome, because you already know that Soundwave would not leave Megatron's side whatsoever. So posing these two together and seeing how they would look together if they were both on screen is a French kiss. For my next comparison here, we do have the concept art Megatron next to the Voyager class Bumblebee movie Starscream. I have no problem with this. As you can see, Starscream is almost as tall as Megatron. I mean, technically he's a little bit taller, but it's just because of this. They both look intimidating as heck. I would be intimidated if I saw these two together. And honestly, I don't really see Starscream being that little, you know, like that, oh, I want to take over the Decepticons, because his design looks amazing. Megatron's design looks also amazing. It's awesome. And just because for my last comparison here, we do have the concept art Studio Series Megatron next to third party Megatank. Megatank is so big that I have to hold my phone now. But as you can see, this is another company's version of the Bumblebee movie Megatron, if he were supposed to be in the Bumblebee movie and how he would look like. And here we do have the Studio Series version. As you can see, they both have some similarities. You know, you got the bucket head, you got the big old cannon. But as you can see, there's a little bit of difference on what it would look like if he was actually in the movie and how third party would do it. And you know what? They both don't look that bad at all. I mean, they both have sort of kind of a resemblance here, except that this one has a beautiful long sword, even though this Megatron doesn't have a sword at all, but he does have a beautiful cannon, but this one has a bigger cannon. I don't know who to choose, eeny, meeny, miny, both, because they actually both look really cool. Now for Megatron's posability is actually really impressive. For the head, he does have a ball joint, he can look up that far and he can look down that far, his arm can move out, bicep swivel, forearm swivel, he does have a wrist swivel, and he does have individually articulated fingers. When was the last time a leader class had individually articulated fingers? Let me just... Gotcha. For his cannon, it can go however you want. It can go 360, it can go out as well, whatever you prefer. It does actually have butterfly joints, which I'm really surprised about. He does have, of course, a waist swivel. His leg can move out roughly about that far, and it could go back roughly about that far. Thigh swivel, a beautiful bend at the knee, and he does have a beautiful ankle pivot, and his foot can go up and down as well. The posability on this Megatron is fantastic. This has to be probably one of the most posable leader classes that they have ever made so far. And I am not over exaggerating whatsoever. Holding this guy and posing him into poses that I never thought I would ever do on a leader class. Yeah, this is insane. This is the most posable leader class you will ever get, or honestly you will ever buy. I'm so sad this wasn't in the movie. I blame Lorenzo. But alrighty guys, I think it's time for me to transform him into one of his really cool looking alternate modes. Remember, this is a triple changer, which I have no idea how this is even possible, but let's start off with the tank mode. So here it is. You know what? It doesn't actually look that bad. It does give off a good I'm a tank type feel. You know what? It's not as bad as, you know, as I thought it was going to be. Now, is it a perfect tank? No, it is not a perfect tank, but is it a good Cybertronian tank as a concept art? Yes, it actually is. And this thing can move. It can go side to side as well, which I actually do enjoy. So let's say he's like rolling and then it's like, oh, I see you, bam, or I see you, bam. You know, it does actually look really good, and I'm glad that that's posable. See the nice, beautiful detail again, the paint, the coloring, the tank threads you can see now more clearly, which I do quite like. Now, it isn't the perfect tank mode again, but it is good enough to where I can call it a tank. But alrighty, guys, I think it's nope. There is another transformation that this figure has. In the concept art, he does transform into a jet. So without further ado, let's take a look at his jet mode. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, even though it looks cool, it was sort of a pain to get to this. And is it worth it? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's not my favorite. To get here, it was sort of a pain, and not everything tabs in as securely as you want. I mean, it's not a bad looking jet mode. It actually looks really good. If anything, to me, is it me or does it look like a bird? Like if it was like a huge laser beak or something. I'm not bashing on it. It looks good. It's just not my favorite out of the three modes. You do have some nice new detail. Do got, you know, kind of like the cannon on the bottom in case he wants to shoot. Do got some thrusters there on each side. But it's just, I wish that things secured a lot more better on this mode for sure. I do appreciate them making this a triple changer, because at least he can triple change, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not going to ever pose him in this. They'll mostly pose him in either the tank mode, the robot mode, or bam, here you have his gun mode. Yes, I did it for you guys. You know what? It actually looks really good. This is a fan mode out of like so many others, but this one stuck out to me the most because, as you guys do know, in the G1, Megatron transforms into a blaster. So here is his blaster slash gun mode, I guess. It does look really cool. I'm glad that this is a thing. Not gonna lie, why is this my favorite mode? Like, I know the tank mode looked pretty decent, the jet mode looked okay, but this mode is actually probably my favorite, and it's a fan-made mode. But alrighty guys, I think it's time for me to give my overall review and my overall grade on this Megatron. This Megatron actually really surprised me. When I first saw him, he looked okay, he looked decent, but actually holding him in person, yeah, it definitely changed my perspective. So here's my overall review and my overall grade on this Megatron. But alrighty guys, there you go. There you have me review the Transformers Bumblebee Movie Concept Star Studio Series number 109 Decepticon Leader Class Megatron. Now what do I think? I honestly think that this is probably the best leader class that they've ever made so far for Studio Series. And is it a bit stretched? Maybe, but this is awesome. I was not expecting the amount of posability that this figure can do. Even though this is a concept art figure, dude, I wish it was in the movie. So for that, I do have to give this figure a solid 9 out of 10. I really like this figure. There's just a few things that are kind of bit nitpicks that I really don't like, so let's talk about it. The first one is the obvious. It is gonna have to be the jet mode. I'm glad that this is a triple changer, but I'm also disappointed in the jet mode a lot. Honestly, the jet mode looks really cool, right? It just doesn't tab in everywhere where you want it to, and it feels flimsy, and it's just not the best alternate mode. I could say the same for the tank mode, but I like the tank mode a lot more than I do the jet mode. And my favorite alternate mode is a fan-made mode, and it's the gun mode. I really like this thing. I still haven't transformed the back because, you know, this is really cool. It's gonna do quite like it. With that being said, I do wish that this Megatron was in the movie. Why wasn't he in the movie? Ask Lorenzo. But alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also make sure to keep those post notifications on so that way you guys don't miss any uploads that I do. I like this thing. The tank mode, the jet mode, but the fan made mode, amazing. Robot mode is superior. So definitely go buy one now. If you can, of course. Other than that, it's been your boy Prime as a creator. Remember to stay calm and keep moving on. So I'll make sure to see you guys on the next one till all are one. Bye!